Hey guys, welcome to gwhisky. I'm Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around at the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below, and with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today we're looking at the Indri Trini. Stick around. Alright, so it's the Indri Trini today. This one is a world whiskey, it's an Indian whiskey, and it's been doing the rounds on YouTube this year. And I'm definitely a little bit late for the party, but since I'm such a mainstream, clickbaity, hype-chasing scumbag, I want in on this. Right out the gate, I want to tell you guys that this bottle was sent to me by the brand, and I've always kind of struggled with that. Should I take them? Shouldn't I? And I know some people are for it, some people are against it, and you guys can let me know how you feel about that kind of thing down below in the comments. Now, of course, I did tell the brand that my review would be fair and it would be honest, but there's an argument to be made that, how honest can it really be if you're accepting a free product? And again, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. And if you're against it, don't be shy. The good news, though, is that I'll always tell you guys if it's a free sample or not, and you can take it from there and decide whether or not you think the review is objective or not. Bit of a tangent there, but again, I do want to hear what you guys think about this. Anyway, new brand alert. We've got Indri. This is out of India. They're owned by a brand called Piccadilly. And these guys just kind of popped up out of nowhere over the last year or so. At least they did for me. I'd never even heard of them a year ago. And I guess they wanted to start things off with a bang. They had a pretty big campaign where they sent out a bunch of bottles to a lot of different reviewers, vloggers, bloggers, and the like. Obviously, they reached out to me. And yeah, I mean, they're clearly trying to spread the word, and fair play to them. And if I think it's a quality product and I think they're doing good work, then I have no problem helping them spread that word. But as I said, this review will be honest, and this is not a perfect whiskey. There will be some positive stuff and some negative stuff in this review. Anyway, the distillery is in northwest India in a state called Haryana. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. We've got 3 different casks in the mix here. We've got ex-bourbon, we've got ex-French wine, and we've got PX sherry. It's a no-age stated expression. They used 6-row barley that was grown in India to produce this, and yeah, it's kind of exciting. A new player on the scene, a new Indian player on the scene. I'm curious to see what they've done here. Let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, so great news here. We've got a fully craft presentation. We've got 46% ABV, no chill filtration, no color added. Well done. Okay, so I quite like this presentation. I do think it's stronger than stuff like Amrut or Paul John. I'm not a huge fan of their bottle look. This I do prefer. I like our Sanskrit writing. We've got a pretty straightforward, elegant looking bottle. For score, I'll give this 4 out of 5. This does say non-chill filtered and natural color. We do get some details on the back. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, but it gives us all the basics. We get the type of barley, we get the type of stills, we get the type of casks. It's very simple, it's straightforward, it's transparent, and it's a nice looking bottle. One thing though is that this is a pretty tall bottle. Now it barely fits in my shelves, like it fits but it's flush, and I don't like taller bottles like the old Victoriana from Glen Scotia, for example. That bottle was about 7 meters tall and it wouldn't fit in my shelf and I'd have to find another place to stick it, and yeah, it was kind of annoying. This one, like I said, it fits but it's tall. I did not add water to this. Right away on the nose, you can tell this is a very full and very rich whiskey. I get honey, I get caramel, I get sherry. There's some faint tannins in here. There's some amaretto. There's Christmas cake, there's rum balls, there's cardamom. Loads of fruit in here. I get stuff like berries, apricot, mango, guava, papaya, persimmon. Lots of yellow fruits. There's bitter oranges here. There's some exotic spices here. There's some herbal notes. There's some mustiness. It's a very loaded and busy nose, but it's nice. On the palate and finish, this is full, it's thick, it's mouth coating. I get some big sweet amaretto notes. There's some coffee in here. There's some molasses. We get praline, we get baklava, we get loads of sweet nuttiness in here. There's also rum, there's resin, there's musty wood, there's guava. We finish on cola and a resinous oaky note. Medium finish. All right, so this is pretty interesting stuff. It is not Scotch, and it doesn't taste like Scotch, but it's also going to be very accessible to Scotch drinkers. It's got that thing where it's just different enough. It's not going to be off-putting. You can tell you're drinking a single malt of a certain quality, just not a Scottish one. And this is good stuff. It's well made, it's craft presented, it's flavorful, it's complex. It is one of those full-on whiskeys though. It's big, it's loaded with flavor, there's a lot of cask influence, and you could spend a good amount of time just pulling out flavors. And what's nice here is that this tastes Indian. Like for me, I always get a certain set of maybe exotic spices in Indian whiskey. It's very distinctive to Indian whiskeys, and it's good. And like a lot of other Indian whiskeys and like Taiwanese whiskeys, for example, and a lot of other world whiskeys, this stuff is more about big, bold, intense flavors. It's less about nuance or subtlety. Complexity, sure, there's lots of flavors that we could pull from those casks, but if you're looking for something gentle and delicate, you're going to be disappointed. If you're looking for something like a well-aged Highlander, that's not this. Like I said, big, bold, casky. Thing is though, I think this will be a little bit too full on and loud for some people, and that's kind of the case for me. It's definitely not my go-to style. Usually I like things that are a little bit more, well, there we go, gentle and delicate. This one is big, it's loud, but it does it well. I think if you can handle a good dose of sweetness and cask influence, you'll get on just fine with this one. For me, I don't think it's too sweet, but it is borderline. The cask influence, very big here. And my biggest issue is that I struggle to find any distillate underneath all of that cask. I do get some of the distillate, and it seems to be quite a tropical distillate, but I'm looking forward to future releases from these guys, and hopefully down the line we get something maybe bourbon matured or something less cask forward where we can really latch on to the spirit underneath it all. My score for this one is going to be 84. I think it's a good whiskey, and you know, cask-dominated whiskeys aren't always my thing, but I do think this one works. And I think it's nice to have a complex, full-flavored, well-made whiskey that's not Scotch and doesn't taste like Scotch. So yeah, at this point you've heard the description and you'll know what you're signing up for. So if you're okay with something with a bit of sweetness, if you don't mind that our flavors are predominantly derived from very active casks, this is a very solid, it's a very enjoyable whiskey, and it's recommended. So price-wise, we're looking pretty good here. They don't have distribution in Taiwan yet, but I'm told they will soon. But if you check a lot of the major online retailers in the West, yeah, this is very fairly priced. It's priced at the high end of entry level, let's say, and for that, I think it's worth every penny. It's good, it's complex, it's full flavored, it's naturally presented, it's unique, and it doesn't break the bank. So I definitely think it's one worth checking out. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, I do have the Patreon. Otherwise, you can like, comment, subscribe. Always appreciated. And I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Indri here? What are your thoughts? I know it's not for everyone. Some people are really jumping on board and really loving this stuff. Others aren't convinced. I'm somewhere in between those two, but it definitely is good. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Also, down below in the comments, you can tell me what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.